Hey. We got... Oh my god. This has never happened before. We have a Team Liquid versus Team Liquid team kill. I think this is the first time I'm ever saying this. This has never happened before. Snute versus uThermal. Team Liquid versus Team Liquid. Someone write the newspapers. Get Richard Lewis on this. If you can believe it, Team Liquid is fighting against Team Liquid here in the finals of a tournament. I can't even...
Is this what it's like to hear the "see you next year" joke?
You got me. I'm fucking done. You got me. That is exactly... I'm being that guy right now. No, the truth... Yeah, no, the truth of the story was because I was that guy. I was the guy saying that joke, and my friends all hated me, so they kicked me out of the parties. It's been a long time since I've seen a New Year's party. I always tell myself, there's always next year. Anyways, no, real though, Snute versus uThermal, I think it's going to be a pretty good best of 3. We're just waiting for Snute to come back, I guess, and we'll get the ball rolling. Just kind of showing off this awesome looking watch once again. Oh, Yordwood watches, sponsor of the tournament. Check them out.
I really wish I had my watch to show off.
The classy thing that they did I really liked. We didn't ask them for this, but they did it, was when we did Hell's Boot Time, they were a sponsor, and we want to show off some watches and see if maybe people would buy some. So they gave us like 3 or 4 watches to put on display at the event. Zombie Grub didn't know this at the time, and neither did Livy B or Crank, but they worked with me kind of in secret to pick out watches for them, and they didn't know they'd be keeping the watches that were on display afterwards. So it was really awesome of them. Like, Yorda have been really, really cool to work with. I really enjoy these guys. Your webcam quality just went to absolute poop, by the way. You look like an oil painting.
Connection problem.
Yeah, you look and sound like what I imagine an oil painting sounds like. I'm gonna go ahead and recall you here.
Okay.
That's just like smudged all over. Like someone just went like right across the webcam. Hello, Mushy Mush?
Hello.
Hey, you look and sound fantastic again. Yay!
Of course I do. Oh,
I was just...
camera, no.
Oh, it's frozen.
No. Oh, okay.
You spoke too soon. Now you're oil painting again.
Yeah, I came up with the same problem.
Try turning off your camera for a moment and let's see if that improves the audio quality at least, because I'm obviously more concerned about that for the finals.
Audio quality.
No, it's still pretty poop. Do you want to try calling me and see if that works better?
Okay.
Okay. Hello?
Hi.
Well, you sound better at least.
Hi.
Hi. What are you doing? We got one best of 3 left. Can you keep it together, please? Can you keep it together? All right, Vetoes are finishing up. Echo's going to be on deck. Do you want to see if the camera works, or do you think that'll break it again?
Let's do it.
I really hate your Skype picture. That's the reason I'm asking.
It's so good.
Like I'm already
Why are you
pretty.
hating?
I'm pretty used to the disappointing zombie grub. Like it's just to have it constantly there in my face. No, thank you.
I'd love to have that face just look at me all the time. We just like a giant poster of that face and put it in my room.
I want people to take that expression, just Photoshop that on you in like every picture, like whether it's a tweet I'm taking of us at an event or a selfie you're posting.
Just make it into a meme, like to put it beside the picture and just say that's what I'm really feeling. She's smiling. This is what she's feeling. It's basically true.
So I was also wondering too. We're ready to go whenever they are, but so you're on Scarlett's computer. Is all our stuff in English or Korean?
It's in Korean, the Koreaboo. Like
hard.
I don't even have the lobby in Korean when I'm in the PC bong, man.
Right. Okay, they're both ready. Let's hop into it. So ZVT to finish off. Both of these players are qualified. I want to make that very clear. So what's interesting is with them getting qualified through to the final day. What?
People saying they sound like an oil painting. I'm sorry, it's 6 in the morning.
I mean, have you ever heard an oil painting? You put the ear up to it, and here you hear the ocean.
Oh god, it's like the conch shell. Conch shell. Oh my god. Okay.
Turning this into a
Keep
gong
it
show is
together.
what you're doing.
Keep it together. Did you ever watch SpongeBob? I forget. No, right? Like
Little
it's like one
bits.
episode.
Yeah, like
Okay,
I
so
was never
did you
like
watch the
really
conch
into it.
shell
No.
episode? Oh, that was a good one. That's a classic. Oh well.
Good to hear. Actually, have you seen that comic that's supposed to be like the reverse like Weeaboo, where it's like the Japanese guy who watches SpongeBob and like makes his life about SpongeBob, has like printouts of the squirrel on a pillow and stuff.
I feel like that is guaranteed to have happened.
Probably, right? I feel like that would be you with how much you bring up SpongeBob.
It's so good. It's like it's like Arrested Development in my opinion. Like there's not the stringing jokes throughout all those episodes, but like it's so quotable. It's so good.
If you say so, Samigro. If you say so. But okay, folks, it's the grand finals of the first qualifier. The winner of this will get a $200 watch code for anything they want on the website. So again, they can get some of the watches that are there for free, basically, or they can get some of the really expensive ones for cheaper. The top left side of the map, we got the blue Terran player uThermal playing for, I think it's Team Liquid?
Maybe. In the bottom right, as the red Zerg, he is Snute for Team Water.
Team not a solid.
Team not a gas.
Used to be a, yeah. All right, so thank you to Harold M81. 6 months on the resubs is half and still counting. Keep up the good work. I look forward to you getting your part too, sir. uThermal, though, not so surprisingly, opens with the 3 Rax Reaper. And I guess earlier we had kind of talked about the difference of Koreans versus uThermal. You know, Koreans are, was it Lambo said, like hard stopping at 9, uThermal going in perhaps a little bit deeper. I do know that Snute and TLO and like all these great Zerg players in Europe used to handle this no problem. But for some reason, there's like just that little bit of extra fuss, and it's been a real issue for these guys on the most recent patch of the game. It's just, I bring up the patch, but there's no relevance to it because nothing in the early game was really affected by it. Reapers weren't touched. Zerglings weren't touched. Queens weren't touched. Hell, even Banelings and Roaches and Ravagers weren't touched. Like, this is still the same thing that they could have possibly been dealing with all year, but everyone's just fumbling so much more for some reason.
Yeah, and again, it's not because the maps are only so much better. There's 1 or 2 beneficial things about the maps. Like, for instance, on Echo, you have a lot of space in that natural to get the micro done with, as opposed to just having to leap back down as soon as possible. But there's not much else to say for it. I really think that it might just be the potential of them to stop at 9 and macro means that you don't want to kind of put yourself behind by going roaches. But if it sounds so assured that like uThermal and Kells are not going to stop at 9, then I do wonder why people, I guess, don't seem like they're because if this response is the same way as Heart of the Swarm, or not Heart of the Swarm, as the last patch, then why aren't they responding like that? Like, why did Lambo, who told us like this is why it's different, not go for roaches? And it might just be because they think it puts them too far behind that 3cc. But that just leaves them in a very difficult position where Lings aren't quite doing it either.
No, with speed being not finishing off of creep, that got a little bit nasty for your Snute as you lost more than you needed to. I mean, don't get me wrong, losing a couple Lings at this early on is not exactly super devastating, but it is making it increasingly difficult to deal with this. More emphasis on the creep tumors that we've seen more recently. Snute's got 4 queens out to try and push this off. It's not looking too bad for him, but chasing off of creep is never going to be the ideal thing to do.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the really good answer for Reapers is to keep the numbers low. Once they get up to like 15, you're in trouble, actually, no matter what you have. So if you can get them low, if you can keep them on your back, if you can get the creep spread going, which is what all of this is accomplishing, as long as he doesn't lose all of the Lings, then this is what I think means the Terran swaps out of Reapers, you know? Like, this is what tells them, like, oh, I guess it's not working, whereas before, they've been winning every single time. The Europeans or Terrans anyway.
He's scanning ahead to see what's going on, but he also wants to pick off those creep tumors. Snute loses one of the live ones. I love that he actually stacked a couple up in the main, so he'll get the tumors down safely and can transfer them later instead of fighting to keep them barely alive in the front lines. That being said, there's no way he's taking that third. Drone, please come home. That was really ambitious.
It was. Don't die to me.
I'm really liking the control of Snute though. He's very decisively dodging a lot of these mines as if he was a Terran player splitting versus Banelings, but the Queens get a little bit too far off creep. Lings have to funnel through them. This isn't looking good. More Lings are on the way. He pulls back. Taking fights off of creep are just, it's too tough.
He's feeling very pressured to take care of this. Now, uThermal did not continue investing in Reapers after the 15th one or something like that. 13th one.
So he can recover minerals in the hole. 1,700, 1,800 minerals now in the hole. I mean, this can't feel good.
I don't think he had to be quite so pressured to take the third base, like quite yet. It was definitely around the time to feel like you need it, though. And moving out like that was the only hope.
Yeah. By the way, people trying to refute my saying there's no changes to early game, saying that banelings were changed. However, banelings were only changed with the speed upgrade, and nobody got speed links to deal with Reapers. That was never a thing.
So this really... Okay, so I have two questions for this. One, how does Zerg deal with it? And two, what stopped the Koreans from going for 15 Reapers?
Yeah, maybe they're not willing to commit. They're like, we're dirty, sure, but we're not that dirty. We have to show good macro.
Yeah, if it's really as unbeatable as it looks right now, because I'm not about to be like, well, obviously foreigners just suck and they don't know what they're doing. But what it looks so unbeatable here.
It does because we've
doing the IM.
Well, I mean, part of it might be Corsair, part of it might be uThermal, maybe they're the special factors because, I mean, keep in mind, we barely saw any Terrans get through the IM qualifiers. We saw so many of them drop out early. It's clearly not a guaranteed win, but it's working pretty well here. Yeah. We're going to go to commercial break, though, guys, as this is the last series of the day. So Newkirk Precinct is going to be the next map, and we'll see you in 2 minutes. All right, we're back. Game number 2 of the Grand Finals. Remember, both of these players are actually qualified through. So regardless of this, you'll see them in the final event. That being said, $200 in a coupon code for the Yord Woodwatch site is what they're currently playing for in this best of 3. If you guys want your own watches, make sure to check out woodwatches.com/base. And spawning here in the bottom left side, we've got the blue Terran player. He's got 25,509 partoofs. Bet on him. It's uThermal.
In the bottom right, as the red Zerg, he is Liquid Snute with
16,935. How did you know that number, Zombie Grub?
I was gonna guess 15,000. I would have been pretty proud.
Yeah,
whatever.
Would have been wrong, but you know, sure.
Close enough is always good enough.
So let's talk about some of the differences of the Reapers, right? We're seeing Lings not do well. TLO's actually did a great job educating people that spine crawlers are not good. Spine crawlers are actually terrible versus Reapers, because they're stationary. They're gonna eat those grenades. It's gonna be bad news, bears.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why roaches aren't going to be or haven't been consistently the opportune thing to do. I mean, roaches themselves are not so hot, sure, but Ravagers in the past they've proven their worth when they get to fight on creep. And their auto attack range, more than their corrosive bile, is what makes them so appealing.
So I do think it is a question of being put behind. Like, the roach response, first of all, forces you into a style you didn't really want to do, I think, for a lot of these guys, as well as just legitimately just put you behind, especially because Reapers can still do damage even if you have the Roaches and Ravagers. But to the point of the Spine Crawler, because I was literally thinking about that as I saw TLO type, they're not that great. I do recall Rogue was pretty consistent putting on a Spine Crawler when he faced 3 extra against TY. Just one, and he shoot away the Reapers anyway, kind of without the help of the Spine Crawler, but it was a security measure that he decided was worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to bring this back a little bit too, by the way. Speedlings have worked in the past. I'm not saying that they're not a bad, they're certainly an answer. It's just what we've seen so far today, and even over the course of the IM qualifiers, they haven't looked to be that answer. Thank you, Firefightin' Freak, for the Twitch Prime sub and that 2-month resub. Always enjoy the cast. Thanks for the long hours for our lazy asses. Hey, man. Thanks for just coming back and watching the channel. Especially thanks for that sub.
Yeah. I do know that, if you're not going to... There's also the choice to not play a macro game, basically. So usually the all-in against the 3x Reaper doesn't work out too well, because Reapers are just so good at, throwing grenades down and buying time and defending with a ramp. But Dark was doing some nice counters to one Korean and one Kelazur, but actually taking advantage and busting. And TLO almost did enough damage with his own all-in, too.
Oh my god, 2 of those Reapers should have gone down, would have gone down. There's an alternate universe right now where Snoot's smiling instead of grimacing, I'll tell you that.
Well, Creep spread is going to be good, it looks like, unless the scan goes down. Even if the scan goes down, I don't know if it's worth killing both creep trimmers.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of lings. You didn't get to chew through them the same way you did in the past. And while he might be able to do some grenade fancy footwork here, Snoot's in a much better position than he was in game 1. Like, it's night and day difference, but as he eats these grenades, he's got to be careful because that's 10 damage, but it's 10 damage to everything it touches, and all these lings are soaking up a lot of those grenade hits.
Yeah, he's starting to try and get us around here, but the lings are already so low that the Reapers are KOing them.
Yeah.
And that just loses all his Reapers, or his lings.
It's like he got too fancy. Now he's retreating back to the creep spread too. Queens don't really have transfuses available.
Retreat! Retreat! Yeah. I don't... You know, you could pull those lings back and they could get like 15 Reapers again, or you could have taken the chance you got us around. And I saw 3 opportunities where it was looking like he was going to get us around.
It was mighty close too. That's the worst part about it. Like I can totally understand why he's committing so far off a creep, because it's almost there. He does kill some of the Reapers finally.
Oh, that's nice.
Snoot is handling this pretty darn well now, but he still has to actually kill them all is the problem.
Yeah, one thing about Nuclear Precinct is that triple layer, double layer, whatever you want to call it, like you can't actually jump down once you're in the main base, except for that one tiny little patch.
Well, this leaves uThermal in a bit of an awkward spot because he did dedicate a lot of Reapers to that. 10 died with a couple more being made. He's going to have 16 in total that made this game. That's a lot of gas spent this direction, so that factory comes down so late. This should have been a situation where, had he cut these earlier, he would have had a 3rd CC on the way. Ideally, the factory would have already been finished. There's a lot of like little what-ifs for this.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Snute did not exactly come out like crazy ahead. Like, he can't break that wall. He's not going to go for a bust. He's trying to get a base down. In fact, he's getting ready to expand even further. I guess a little bit later, planning ahead.
Yeah, I think planning way ahead, but I do like he's breaking on the rocks. The destructible tower, that is, because the tank pushes. But it's interesting. I didn't notice that uThermal went for factory as opposed to a 3rd command center off the bat, so I guess he was aware that he was going to be maybe a little bit of trouble, because we have been seeing more that 3rd CC immediately hold off on the tech. Still building Reapers. They're still kind of like the safest early game unit.
I mean, they are, but every Reaper that gets made right now, I just look at it as like less gas spent on something possibly better. You know, an upgrade of some variety, or a medevac. Like, it's. Yeah. I mean, if they get kills on lings, it's worth it for sure. But uThermal right now is sitting on even trades with, frankly, a lot of lost minerals in these Reapers, just waiting to finally be picked off.
Yeah. Snoot's also been using, I guess, some of the same Zerglings for a while, so he's going back into droning, and his drone count should look better in like a minute here. But he didn't underdefend, nor did he make like way too many lings. It still is not the best game. It seems that kind of the goal of 3x Reaper is just to make not the best game for Zerg. I was forced into this pretty delicate position that they might just straight up lose, or they might just fall behind.
I used to be a pro gamer, then I took a Reaper to the knee.
Everyone loves that meme.
Yeah, I'd never played Skyrim until like a year ago, so I didn't get that joke for the longest time.
I didn't pay attention to any of the dialogue in Skyrim, so
nice.
Would have been lost on me.
I've actually been watching a lot of people playing Witcher recently. I really want to play that. The game looks so polished and sexy.
Finally bought Fallout 4.
Yeah,
so.
I still haven't actually finished it. I really like that game.
Fallout game.
Yeah, I've finished all the Fallout games up to 4. I even had some of the
I guess it's the end
DLCs.
of the story, but there's like so much else to do, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, I haven't played it yet, even though I downloaded it. So the Reapers are finally going to go bye-bye, which is a little curious because uThermal has used these in the past to either double attack or along with his main push.
Oh, rest in
peace.
That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. The Queen might find some wiggle room on the left side.
Yeah, they're not quite covering each other here.
So, by the way, I'm really hoping you stream Fallout 4 when you do it. The story for it is actually quite good, and I'd love to see what decisions you make for it.
Really?
Like Mass Effect's pretty streamlined, right? And in the same way, I guess you could say Fallout 4 is, but there's a lot of very interesting different directions you can take your actions in that game. Like, Mass Effect was just like, oh, it's either good or bad, right? Paragon or whatever the other one was. Mass Effect,
yeah.
Or Fallout 4, you can just like...
6 different answers, 3 of them Paragon, 3 of them Renegade.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, these Reapers... I mean, how many... Okay, he made 19 Reapers this game. Again, going back on Lambo and some other talk about like, okay, Koreans are just going for 9. uThermal's going for too many Reapers objectively. But in this particular map, in this particular instance, I don't like it just because that's 19 Reapers worth of wasted gas.
It is a questionable choice to continue investing into for sure. And I feel like it's more importantly, like there's no tanks quite yet. And I wonder why he's not going for tanks. He was so effective with them last time. I guess it was just Protoss, but the point is, this drop ends up being not so bad. You know, of course, we're protecting it a little bit, so makes it just like tiny bit safer from the exit, and that's what happens. He's not clearing up creep because he decided to drop though, which is always a little bit worrying as it does start entering that mid map presence. Whoa, seems kind of far.
He's reaching, man, and I guess if uThermal is really focused on the bottom side of the map, maybe the top side expansion is not so crazy.
Got that creep trimmer. Everything's good to go for uThermal. Now this is as long as it's alive, then it's always the potential to do a lot more damage. But Snute is doing a good job. I mean, Newkirk Precinct, that is going to be the most obvious drop location.
uThermal really needs to clean up this Overlord. This has actually seen like 5 drops at this point. Like this one Overlord has got so much scouting for Snute.
Oh, that was dangerous. I thought we knew the Spark Crawler was there. I'm supposed to try to go for it with that weak medevac, but it's distracting, so maybe the 5th will be cancelled. We do have a second factor on the way, but he's been building Widow Mines the entire time, so that might just be for drilling claws. And more Widow Mines.
Well,
I was gonna say maybe a Thor, but we don't have any Spire.
we don't have a lot of Banelings just yet, but Baneling speed's finishing up, and that's, of course, where we start talking about the difference of the patch. Baneling speed gives, of course, the faster movement speed, but also now 10 additional health. So Banelings are a little bit harder to focus fire, and the smaller drops aren't nearly as effective as they used to be. That being said, we'll see. They still get one shot by the tanks. They still get one shot by the Widow Mines.
Well, the denial on the 5th base was good. uThermal has a 4th base already on the way. Snute is getting to that infestation pit. We saw him go for Infestors versus Protoss. I want to see him go for Infestors versus Zerg. I want to see him go for Burrowed Infestors. It was actually a really sick game yesterday that when I was solo casting TY versus Rogue, I think it was. There was like some sick Burrowed Infestor play. Like, good positioning, really like key fungals. It was good stuff. Maybe it wasn't Rogue, but I know it was TY. I would love to see Snute try and do that.
Well, Snute's bleeding in a couple of these links to the Widow Mines and not really stopping the drops in the process. I think a problem with this game is there are no mutas. There's not really a lot of queens. He's not been able to stop the medevacs. So while he's dealing with the units that are coming out of them, the drops themselves are rarely going down. He does finally get a pick off here, which is nice. Triple drop, though, waiting to go into the main. Lots of lings waiting up here for him, though. Hive Tech starts up, though.
Yeah. Maybe something a little disappointed, but he did only have enough gas for a certain amount of things. Banelings and a Hive, basically, and then he was out. Didn't take his gases at his 4th base, and there he takes them now, but I gotta imagine Infestors will be on the way eventually, but uThermal does scout that Hive, knows he's on a timer. He did bother to get one Thor.
I thought it was an interesting choice, considering there's been no error.
Yeah,
Queens to take down one of the medevacs, that's kind of nice. The other two are not going to go down. Get to respawn. More queens come back to the main. Transfuses, girls, please! Ladies! Ladies! Okay, well, medevac goes down to clean this up.
Well,
Push in the middle. Let's get a couple of Widow Mines with us. Gotta be careful with these Banelings and Lings.
Yeah, it denied a 5th base again, and it's not that big of a loss anyway, even if the all died. Widow Mines all dying is a little bit more pressing. Triple Widow Mine production, I guess it isn't quite, it's not quite so worrying. I mean, uThermal's on 4 bases versus 4. He's got really good production. He's not started his upgrades though yet, which is a little bit weird. Usually a Terran is pretty on the ball at a 3-3.
I'm not sure what's going on, man, but like Snute's Lings, maybe there's just too many. I'm starting to lose frames with some of these fights.
Oh yeah? Wow.
That's the advantage of low graphics settings. I guess Scarlet's got going on. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, right?
So Ultras. Once upon a time, Ultras were the bane of uThermal's existence. This guy could not win a game if it went to Ultras. But they've been changed, and he's a changed player. He was already good at dealing with the super buff Ultras. These ones have taken a bit of a nerf. They get 1 more base armor, but they get 2 less from chitinous plating. Queen range. Queen range should be pretty good. Nope. 2 health. Nope.
Oh, that queen's gonna be distracted feeling that. Oh, it's gonna get 2 medevacs. He realizes that too. More importantly, that push to the front base, looking to snipe a 4th base. That not gonna be happening.
No, there's
oh, what do I know? What am I?
Well, even with the Widow Mines getting good hits, this is still whatever. Snute's got so much to throw around, which is nice. 100 supply in army is a lot more in Lings and
How did
Banelings.
that medevac drop its stuff off? I swear to God. Seriously? Seriously? Seriously.
Because there is no Zerg god. There we go. There we go. I was waiting so long for that thing to pop up. Thor gets caught over here on the north side. uThermal's finding himself not exactly struggling for army supply, but struggling to deal damage to Snute anymore. Like before, it was easy peasy walking in, picking off a base, picking off another base, you know, shutting Snute down. But now for all these Widow Mines and for all these Marines, he's barely scratched the surface of the Lings and the Banelings, and now they're finally going to have the Ultralist support. Not to mention 3-3 finishing shortly.
Yeah, Snute, I mean, successful mid-game, successful late game so far, deflecting all these drops. He hasn't done a 5th base, but, I mean, he's still going to be maxed out, which I think will give him the opportunity to secure a 5th base. Queens are dying. They're not getting transfuses. This is not just important because of the anti-air. They were supposed to have transfuses with the ultras.
Yeah, I think he was looking at the front lines and he wasn't paying attention to that in the back. And that does suck because these ultras will need those transfuses more than ever with their armor being taken down that notch. But still, no reliable anti-air. Liberators might just be the king in this situation. Normally you got Ravagers or you got some sort of like Mutilates or Corruptors or something. So there's no anti-air. Liberators should be God mode here.
Killing Claw is a pretty good upgrade. Yes, that is the worrying part, because that's most often where we see the Zerg die, even if they get to the perfect late game. If they just forgo Spire, I guess technically Queens can like really ball their position and take care of Liberators, but basically if we go to the Spire, they just start losing Ultras, losing to drops, can't expand.
With the, and I'm going to say lack of creep spread this game, Queens I don't think are going to be an option at all. Walking those across the map, that's going to take about a year and a half.
Initially, it was pretty good creep spread, but it definitely fell off as his Queens are dealing with so many drops.
Yeah, I mean, credit to uThermal. For all of these, like, quote-unquote failed attacks, he's actually been doing very well.
Yeah, he's, they've been spaced, I think, well enough apart, and just with good macro behind it, didn't actually... There's no scenario where he was down 40 armors and just died. The insistence on Widow Mines is still kind of... Like, it's just so many Widow Mines it is. Like, every single time he pushes, he sees, like, 4 or 5.
Well, I look at those Widow Mines, and to me, that just screams like I don't want to deal with the Banelings. Like,
yeah, it's a good thing to have. I'm surprised he always has so many.
Well, here you go. Finally, we got enough Queens out. Push back the Raiders. I mean, Snoot's sitting on 14 Queens, and on creep, totally viable anti-air. Off creep, maybe not quite the case. This base is going to get sniped by the Marines, or maybe not. Oh, barely goes down. A couple health on those Marines, get out of there alive. Drop in the main. uThermal is... I can't believe he's still finding holes in Snoot's defense.
Right? Especially this base is one that's being attacked, one that's like Spore Crawlers and Queens the entire time, not the other base that's right there.
Like, I don't feel like Snoot's been doing this poor. Like, again, he had 2 Spore Crawlers. He had a lot of Queens that he was doing defense really well. But as he kind of abandoned ship in the main, he starts moving for these other bases. He needs mining, he needs expansions. That's what he's really focused on right now.
Yeah. Well, this base might be saved, but he just lost his 3rd and now his 5th, it looks like. I don't know if he can actually defend it. I don't think he should defend it. Ultra's just gonna die. Oh, mistake.
Oh, especially with Widow Mines and the Liberators there.
Oh, what's it, Daisy?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mistake.
Well, now we have Corruptors on the way, so even though Snute takes a pretty big hit to his army supply, I still think he has some... If he gets the Corruptors, like, he has a composition that can really hold strong for a while. But he's throwing away like 3 ultras at a time for questionable engagements. The last one was definitely a mistake. This one was definitely on purpose, but this is just not working out.
This army is so heavily stemmed. Oh my gosh. Even the Queens can start killing these Marines.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, you know, we never saw Fungals. Damn. Oh well.
Oh yeah, a Fungal, I guess, would be phenomenal in some of these situations.
Yeah, I actually hesitate to say that it would have saved him, but maybe it would have gotten a bit of a better fight from these ultras.
So the problem with Corruptors, they can certainly take out Liberators, but there has to be nothing to oppose them. GG's get called. uThermal's going to take it 2-0. The Terran Bonjour is real.
Oh, pretty good race.
Right now it is, apparently. Congratulations though, uThermal. He'll win $200. We'll get him set up with that code. I'll introduce him to the Yord guy and all that stuff. So he can get someone he knows a fancy watch for free, or he can get himself a really nice one for cheap if he wants to go for one of the more expensive ones. But I do want to remind you guys, there's a vote going on still that's pertinent to the finals of this tournament, as we don't actually have the final format decided yet. We've left that up to you guys. The vote is still 51% to 49%. You guys are useless. Vote harder. We'll either have a 4-player WCS-style group, you know, best of 3s, winners match, losers match, and a finals, or we'll have an 8-man single elimination bracket with 4 players invited on top of the 4 who qualify through. So we'll see what the next qualifier looks like. It's going to be in about 3 days from now on December 4th, Sunday. It's upcoming Sunday. And we'll decide from there. Based on what the vote says, maybe we'll decide. Again, it's nice that we guarantee don't have 4 Zerg. Snute and uThermal getting through is already a really nice split in diversity, and also players to have for that finals. But before we disappear, quick thank you to Battle Dragon for the new sub. It's awesome to see. I think we saw about 5 watches this stream, guys. That's fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you guys for checking out the site, and hopefully, and I say this sincerely, I've really enjoyed mine. I know Alice and a couple other people are commenting in chat. They treat their watch like mine. Like, honestly, this isn't exactly like owning a gold Rolex, right? Like a solid gold Rolex or something. This isn't the fanciest watch you'll ever have in your life. But it feels very fancy, and it's nice because it's wood, and it's very different. So it's definitely, it feels special. So if you get one, let me know how you guys use it. Tweet us pictures, of course, and all that good stuff. But thanks for watching. Make sure you go to woodwatches.com/base to look at the promo code. And of course, even if you're watching this later, like a VOD or something, this promo runs all year long, where 15% of any sale will go towards the next tournament sponsored by Yord. But we'll go to a commercial break and come back and say all of our goodbyes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. All right, we're back, and I meant to link the Team Liquid thread here, but I messed it up. There we go. In the Team Liquid thread is where you can go to vote for the thing. I'll show you guys right here. Screen region. It'll be right in the bottom of the posts. So you can see it's 50. Well, now it's 50-50. So you guys ruined it. You made it even worse. At least one was winning before. Damn it. But okay, we're all done for the day. We actually have to do some more work off the stream, so I got to wrap this up pretty quick. Zamgrub, any final goodbyes before we take off?
Follow me on Twitter at TGGaming and on YouTube at Summergrub.
The other thing I did do,
I do some other things.
Yeah. Of course, follow the channel, guys. Be back for more. We'll be back at 3 a.m. Pacific. So later tonight, in fact, I can tell you just how many hours that is from now. We're going to be back with Make Korea Great Again in 13 hours and 11 minutes from me saying this. And there's some pretty good signups already, and of course poking some others. Hopefully we'll see more, but you know, Zest said he'll show up. The list is already pretty awesome. Keen, Natural, Patience, Hyun, Innovation, Pet, Ryung, Billowy, Gumiho, Stats. We might actually have better signups for this than we've had for like any Korean event ever. Like this, we got CJ Bunny, Beyond, of course, Impact. Like, Jesus, that's gonna be fantastic.
Already a success then. That's what we wanted.
Well, that's part of it. The other part of it is we need people to watch. Seriously, we're not exaggerating when I tell you we want to see 2,000 viewers for this, guys, as our average when it's all said and done. But, yeah, so I think that wraps it up. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Check out all of our sponsors, at least while they're still our sponsors. Corsair, Chairs for Gaming, G2A, and, of course, the title sponsor today, Yord. I don't think there's anything else to really advertise. Just come back later tonight. Seriously, please come back for Make Korea Great Again. We want to see your faces. I don't know who we're going to host, but give them some love when we get there. I'll see you guys later tonight / tomorrow. Goodbye.